The Borderlands series has been known for its wide variety of weapon choice since it first launched in 2009. From guns that insult you to guns with legs, this series has a gun for everything. It also features endgame challenges, one of which is the Guardian Takedown, one of the hardest trials a Vault Hunter will ever face, unless you use stupid Iron Bear and abuse the whole frickin' system. However, today ladies and gentlemen, we won't need a fancy schmancy gun to aid us in combat. Oh no. We have something much better than that. The FAKOBS, baby. The FAKOBS, aka the Shoddy, is a weapon added in with DLC 3 and is purposely bad. The damage is lower than my testosterone after visiting the BL3 Reddit, and the bullets fired from the Shoddy unfortunately suffer from erectile dysfunction. But none of that actually matters, because in today's takedown challenge run, we'll be answering a question no man has ever dared to ask. Can you beat the Guardian Takedown using only the FAKOBS? Now, the rules for this challenge are simple, baby. The only method of damage we can actually deal using weapons is the FAKOBS. Now, I can use Digiclone so long as it is wielding the FAKOBS, and I can also have other enemies deal damage to other enemies, such as the Diadems, 2 Guardians, or 2 bosses. And I also forgot to take off the drone, but we can just forget about that since, you know. We streamed this run live on Twitch at EpicNNG. Come follow to grow your penile girth by 3 square meters, baby! And with that amazing intro out of the way, let's get crack-a-lackin'. For attempt 1, we chatted up on Mayhem 10 and wasted no time getting our hands dirty. We did no damage at all. Yeah, since the FAKOBS has such low damage, this challenge is going to be very well impossible without doing it on a lower Mayhem level. So unfortunately boys, you can leave your dislikes and move on if that's what you want to do, but yes, we are going to have another takedown challenge done on a low Mayhem level. So with that being said, let's get on to attempt 2. After switching to TVHM, we wasted no time in showing those filthy little glob hoppers who their daddies was, as me and my clone went to work dispatching them from the planet. Now I will say that despite being on TVHM, our wooden hole puncher still struggled with damaging the enemies. So to combat this, I used my slide in order to gain momentum with violent speed for more damage, and whilst this did help, it still made the whole process a pain in the rectum. But after all of the chads fell, we proceeded to the Mario Galaxy platforming section, and I made sure to be very careful in my jumps until I got fucking speared by Thanos himself, almost ending the run right there and then. So just like my Tinder dates, I hopped out of there quickly before anyone could catch feelings. After making it past that disaster, I made it to the first boss of this takedown challenge, the crystals, baby. Now I know what you're thinking, the crystals are borderline impossible, and using the FAKOBS is only going to make that worse. Not to mention the fact that this gun does suffer from severe erectile dysfunction, and that means that quite frankly, we're never going to solve the Rubik's Cube and open the door. But luckily for us, that's where the clone comes in. This physical reincarnation of God himself is the key to beating the crystal sections, as it wields the power to soak up all damage available until we're able to finish the crystals. And believe it or not, we were actually able to beat the crystals first try because of this. At this point, my rod was harder than an iron longsword crafted at one of the Skyrim forges, and I wasted no time in proceeding onto Anathema for our Yu-Gi-Oh! Showdown. So with a hop, skip, and a jump, we finally reached the first boss fight of the takedown. Now, Anathema may be the relentless, but my FAKOBS doesn't let up either, and I decided that the best way of fighting this beast was to pretend that I'm LARPing World War III and use the FAKOBS as a mortar to rain fire from above. And this method was working perfectly. Anathema couldn't fathom the force of pellets hitting her on the head. Now I'm not sure if I was giving her a concussion or not, but I will say that what happened next was nothing short of brain dead. The best strategy of avoiding Anathema's shadow is to hop to the opposite platform and then hop back to the original platform in order to continue your attack on her. But unfortunately for me, I made a big brain play and once again made the mistake that has ended most relationships in my life. Come on baby. Come on baby. Okay, done. Okay. Okay. Back over. Uh-oh. No!
Hello, darkness. darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
No matter how much I begged Anathema to take me back, she had just made her intentions clear that she needed a real man in her life. And with us playing on TVHM, we just couldn't be the man she deserved. Changes were needed, Vault Hunters. So changes is exactly what we made. After coming to the realization that TVHM was too soft, we switched to Mayhem 2. Now, despite Mayhem 2 still being rather too low on the scale of difficulty, it did indeed provide a tremendous challenge. So after spending what felt like 8 hours taking down the first group of enemies, we proceeded to make our way through to the crystals. However, on the way to the crystals, my spidey senses started to tingle, and as I leapt off of the first jump pad, I saw what tragedy awaited me. This rock Chad was about to rock block me and stop this run dead in its tracks. So after navigating the rock with more precision than Balex himself, we proceeded on to the crystals. Now I'll be honest, Mayhem 2 Guardians aren't as soft as you may think. These flying fucksters take more hits than an enemy chained with ties that bind. But luckily for us, we were able to take them all down and begin charging the crystals. Now for Mayhem 2 Crystals, I had no other choice but to follow the same amazing method as the first time, using my Digiclone to distract the Guardians and then taking that opportunity to charge them suckers up. But unfortunately for us, something got lost in translation, because the Guardians soon found out my location and proceeded to play King of the Hill with my crystals. Those territorial bastards were so content on remaining in my way that I had no choice but to unleash the force of 1,000 Redditors upon them and use my flaccid cannon to remove them from the world. This did take a long time to do, but eventually we did prevail and complete the crystal section once again. From here, it was then time to clear the bridge and move on to Anathema for our undying redemption. However, just as we were finally about to progress past the bridge, tragedy struck. This evil Omega Guardian took it upon itself to end our run right there and then. Now at the time of this happening, my anger levels were through the roof, but looking back on the situation, this Guardian had every right in the galaxy to do such a thing. For this entire run, I have been calling each and every enemy in my way a Chad. And that's not okay. That is borderline discrimination. This Guardian in particular was very obviously not a male, and my constant disregard to gender identification was the clear adjudicator in this situation. So from this point onwards, all female foes will now be referred to as Chadettes to avoid cancel culture inflicting more damage on me than Moses Ironbear. Alright. For attempt 4, a mutual agreement was made between chat and I that Mayhem 2 was indeed possible, but just far too tanky for our enjoyment. So to preserve my mental health capacity, I turned the difficulty down to Mayhem 1 before once again proceeding to tickle the pickle and pickle and picklettes of each Chad and Chadette in this takedown. So after opening the first door, we proceeded to navigate the open space with the notorious jump pads until out of nowhere we slammed directly into the same rock from before. So with the rock out of our way, we once again proceeded to the crystals, and I'll save you guys another minute here, we got through it relatively easily. And as a side note, if you have any issues with me not writing more jokes for that crystal section, then you could be the first person to start funding these challenge videos, because oh my god, they take a long time to write. So after polishing off the crystal section once more, we returned to the bridge for a shot at retribution. Now luckily, this time the enemies weren't as tanky, meaning they died a lot easier. We did still however have to jump around like a rabid stalker to hit them, but that's besides the point of why my jump button is broken. So after spending around 10 minutes pogo stick pounding every Guardian in the room, we continued our trek onwards to Anathema the Chadette. So with a hop, skip, and a oh what the fuck. So 20 minutes later we finally made it to Anathema for a better boss fight climax than the scene in It Chapter 2 where Pennywise gets bullied to death. My strategy for this fight was foolproof. Go in there and rush Anathema with a speed so unfathomable that she just lies there and accepts death like every Chadette before her. I don't know what came over me, but I rushed Anathema with such an unstoppable force that even my chat felt bad for her. I was like a colony of ants devouring a picnic. But clearly Anathema had been drinking her G Fuel, because she eventually got tired of my assault on her dragon's teat and beat the ever-living shit out of me. I was down on the floor and I was desperate for a second second wind, but due to Gearbox's poor game design, the Guardians, who could have very easily finished me off there and then, instead decided to just walk away. And due to my gun suffering from a severe case of floppy cock syndrome, I was unable to get the second wind to save this run. So after that death, my morale was at an all-time low, and my chat knew what was coming. I mean, I tried and tried as hard as I could, but I just couldn't do it. So it was time for the final run. Usually when it comes to final runs, my morale is actually quite high and I tend to go into them and give it my all. But not for this one. I went into this run with about as much enthusiasm as the character design behind the Calypso twins. But what's actually quite unique about this run is that we didn't get hit by the floating rock on the way to the crystal section. So after firing what was a barrage of floppy bullets at the mass army of Chad and Chadettes, we fired them bad boys up and got charging once more. Now I'm going with the assumption that these Guardians had much pity for me at this point, since they pretty much ignored me for the whole crystal phase. This made charging the crystals extremely easy and actually cheered me up a bit, surprisingly, so thank you Guardians for maintaining social distancing. And with that being said, it was time to move on to the bridge. And wow, weirdly enough, the bridge was oddly easy this time around. I don't know whose third leg I tugged on prior to this run, but I mean, whoever it was, I mean, I can leave my number if you want to do this again sometime. After spending not long at all with the crystals and the bridge, nothing could stop me now, baby. So with a hop, skip, and a holy fuck, I actually made it. Anathema did not stand a chance. It was time to banish that foul beast to the 9th dimension, and believe you me when I say that's exactly what happened. Anathema hit me with the most powerful combos a Mortal Kombat master has ever thrown at me to date, but I dodged each and every one of them as I filled her face hole with bullets like Patrick from the Snowball War in SpongeBob. I also made sure when hopping platform to platform not to get super sucked by Anathema's shadow. This alone made the fight a lot more easier, even though I was being heavily distracted by the headbanger of a soundtrack that was playing in the background. But nonetheless, with more precision than a grape surgeon, Anathema soon perished at the hands of the great FAKOBS, instantly boosting my ego way too high. Could this takedown challenge be saved? Well, there was only one way to find out. So with testosterone at an all-time high, I leaped across to the second crystal phase and wasted no time in charging them suckers up with the help of my digiclone. Plate 1, done. Plate 2, run. Plate 3, get the fuck out of my zone, pussy! So with all 3 plates charged, all that stood in our way was the everlasting journey to trek on to Scourge. So we approached the broken road for the final stretch. The strategy here was simply to drop my clone down and crouch against the wall. The Guardians are way too stupid to understand basic booby trappery and will walk straight into their FAKOBS death. This method actually worked like a charm, and each time a new Guardian appeared, a new Guardian vanished. And with a hop, skip. Now unlike Wotan, Scourge has not been shit-talking me on Twitter at all. However, he still needs to learn that there are levels to this game. Unless you play stupid modes and stupid Iron Bear. My strategy with Scourge was to use my digiclone in an attempt to distract him as I used my speed and power to bring him down. Each time an immunity phase came at me, I used the diadems to score some extra damage on him. This was essential in order to prevent this fight taking like 38 hours to complete. So after slapping this Chad up for the majority of the fight, he sent me to his Animal Crossing island, where it took so long to kill the Guardians there that he regenerated the majority of his health bar. But no worries, a quick crystal smash and 6 hours later we had whittled his health bar down even lower than before. And Scourge, being the kid he is, once again fired us off to his island whilst he called the moderators to ban me. But a quick round of FAKOBS fuckery soon returned us to the arena for the final fiesta. So we continue to use the diadems to our advantage as we rained shots down on Scourge, and our digiclone was doing amazing work at acting like a body shield. However, it was important not to get cocky, as the fight was not over yet. However, with the fury of 1,000 failed attempts, I jumped onto Scourge and unleashed the final barrage of shots until he perished. You are done. FAKOBS only. Guardian Takedown, baby. Done. Oh my god. And just like that, he falls for the completion and the official reminder that I am a better player than you. So, Can you beat the Guardian Takedown using only the FAKOBS? Yeah, you can. This was arguably one of the hardest takedown challenges I have ever attempted to date, and will 1000% be topped by whatever stupid challenge we try next. But that's a story for another day. Thank you guys for watching this video, and thank you for your support as always. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and drop a comment telling me why I am indeed a better player than you. And with that being said, have a nice day.